Holy shit, that's a Jedi.
The damnable racket of battle. Watch yourself. Even more of these crawling beasts are hiding in the underbrush.
Option number 2 is, what, do I have to fight you as well now? Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm Jolee. Jolee Bindo. Follow me to my camp and we'll talk a bit.
You use a lightsaber in battle. Are you a Jedi?
Ah, don't start fawning just yet. I'm too old for it. I know a few things, but we can talk about it at my camp. Keep close. It's nearby under a log. Yeah, I live like some burrowing rodent. I fought the Sith. Now look at me.
I was about to say he doesn't look much like a Sith. Oh, hello there, Principal Lewis. I like that not every creature on this world is hostile. Wrong way. Not this way.
Well, welcome to my home, such as it is. Pull up a stump and be comfortable. We should discuss a few things.
Yes, I feel there's much you can tell me.
Don't coddle me, child. I'm neither a Jedi nor your master. I'm just an old man that's been lost in the woods for far too long. My days of glory are behind
Oh, maybe
me.
that's why.
Perhaps there is something I can do for you. You must have questions.
Glad to hang out, but I gotta conk out for the night. Give G-Man a hug for me. I will do that, Dallas. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope you sleep well. Okay, first off, old man, I'm not coddling you. Maybe all the things you just said about yourself are exactly why I think there's much you can tell me. Because you are supposedly not a Jedi, and also not my master. Maybe that's exactly why you're the one I want to ask questions about. I want to ask about you.
What is there to tell? Jolee Bindo is the crazy old man in the dangerous woods. I'm content with the impression I give.
You muttered something about fighting Sith?
Did I? You have annoyingly good ears. Well, it doesn't matter. Those days are gone. Leave them in their graves. I've seen my share of the dark and the light. And frankly, both extremes annoy me. Of course, I have felt rumblings of change.
It's kind of nice to meet a Jedi who isn't all hung up on this light side, dark side stuff. Gets pretty tiring, you know?
Perhaps you will be of some assistance to me after all. Let us discuss what you came here for.
What, because of what mission just said? Cool, works for me. You are difficult to deal with, it worries me. I mean, he might be stubborn, but he knew I would have questions for him right off the bat, and he seems more or less willing to answer them. At least to some extent. So I don't know about... Compared to a lot of people, including the Wookiees, like, I understand why they're difficult, but they have been more difficult than him. I wouldn't say it's quite to the point of worrying. human version of Yoda 4,000 years before the old toad. I want to ask you some questions.
Fine, fine. Just be brief.
Need information about problems on Kashyyyk.
Yes, among the Wookiees. Intriguing creatures. I like that they have little patience for bureaucrats. But of course, even here, there are hidden things that manipulate.
What do you know of Chundar?
Circa Corporation was smart to put him in power. He's as good at destroying Wookiee culture as dropping corpses full of our Droxian flu. Will you work for him or against him, I wonder? I will be interested to see.
Does it count as both if I'm faking working for him in order to work against him? You don't have a recommendation?
Sure. How's this? Think for yourself. I don't care for politics, and I'm big on letting people figure things out for themselves. The Wookiees have prophecies of deliverance if you ask them. But for now, they follow without hesitation. That is their wish.
Have you seen a crazed Wookiee in the Shadowlands?
Maddened with grief, perhaps, but not crazed. I helped him pass to the lower forest where only a Wookiee could follow. Some other matters will determine if you can follow. There is a barrier that, well, we'll talk of that more in a moment.
Will we? Okay. You know a missing Wookiee called Rorwar.
It is a very unfortunate matter. It will end in shame and sorrow. You will find Rorwar down here, and more. I've witnessed a number of happenings, but I've left them for others to sort out.
You aren't being very helpful.
I wasn't aware I had to be. Look, events like
No,
these
but it
reveal
seemed like
much
you were
about
offering to be.
people involved. I'm well past that introspective tripe. I'm not saying that outside help isn't needed. I didn't want to make anyone mad while I didn't have a way off the planet. We'll talk more about that momentarily.
Wait a second. Is this my one missing companion? I keep intermittently forgetting and remembering that there's still one companion I haven't picked up yet. And I wasn't really thinking about it until he said, while I didn't have a way off the planet, it implies he's looking for one. Also, he keeps saying, we'll talk more about that momentarily, and then I don't get any new dialogues. I'll ask you some questions. Funny enough, asking a quote-unquote not Jedi about star maps feels riskier than asking a random Wookiee about star maps. Even if he has fought the Sith. After all, Revan and Malak once fought Sith too, as I recall. I mean, maybe the Mandalorians were their big thing, but, I mean, Jedi fight Sith as a general thing, right? But I've already been through these two things, and he keeps saying, we'll talk more about that momentarily. The only other thing that doesn't involve leaving is the star maps thing, so I kind of feel like I'm supposed to not be quite as cautious and secretive as I have been. Have you any knowledge of star maps?
Now, why would you be asking about that, Don't answer. I knew that had to be why you were here. The problems of a few Wookiees don't amount to anything before the concerns of the Jedi. No, you are here for the map.
Among other things. If you have information, please tell it to me.
Kashyyyk is an interesting place, more so than anyone suspects. If Zerka Corporation knew, the planet would be a strip mine. The Wookiees have their legends that they were not always here, but it is more than that. The trees themselves are strangers.
I don't understand. Can you be more specific?
What I'm saying is that there are literally walls in your way, and you won't find what you need without my help. And my help has a price. You must do a task for me, and then allow me to join with you. I will then remove certain barriers in your path.
Can't I just pay you? I hate jumping hoops. As funny a dialogue as that is, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because what on earth is he going to spend credits on down here? The goody two-shoes option is obviously, I'm honored to help someone of your experience. But it also doesn't feel real. It feels... like putting on an act, I guess. And what can I say? I'm nothing if not real, I guess. That came out sounding funny. You guys know what I mean. I'm real, I swear. You're not imagining me. I exist. That was dumb, but anyway. Part of me wants to see what happens if I give him a little bit of sass back. Because when I was just being what I thought was normal and polite, he was basically like, don't coddle me, I'm not your Jedi Master or whatever. And that wasn't even the, I'm honored to help someone of your experience. That was, I thought, just me being polite to a random person I just met. So I'm a little curious if he's the sort where you gain respect from him by sassing him back. I will say, random cam tangent here, but those people exist in real life. I was working at a drugstore way back when I lived in Boston, and I had this regular customer who would come in to use the photo lab. At the time, I was one of very few employees trained to use the photo lab, so a lot of times it was me in charge of the photo stuff. And the first couple of times he was, I was polite and customer service-y, like you're supposed to be, and he was gruff and kind of rude, and I kind of just ignored it. Because his rudeness didn't have a bite to it, if that makes sense. It was like, the words were rude, but the vibe of, like, intentionally trying to, like, I don't know, demean someone or whatever wasn't there, if that makes any sense. And I wish I could remember what it was I said. But the second time, it was either the second or third time he came in, he was doing the same thing. And I sassed him back. Was I supposed to? No. Would my manager have been furious? Absolutely. The man immediately broke into a smile, congratulated me on having some spunk, and basically became a friend after that. Like, he sent me birthday cards, he tipped me a bonus on Christmas. Like, just genuinely nice old guy. Apparently he was just really sick of the customer service tone and he wanted somebody to be real with him. So the second he sassed me and I sassed him back, he was like, okay, we're cool. I like you. Best thing ever. I quite enjoyed it. He was a funny guy. But I'm kind of wondering if this guy is that sort of old man. Son says, uh-oh. I mean, crazy old coot is rude, but also the why should I trust you is a fair question, I feel like. I already asked him about the star maps, so it feels a little out of order to ask him that now, but why should I trust you, you crazy old coot?
Oh, save it. I know this sounds absurd, but I'm old and entitled to work you around a bit. Besides, the test is simple. Since they began expanding in
Okay,
the
well, he didn't get
Shadowlands,
offended by
the
it.
Circa have left me alone for the most part. Until recently, anyway. A group of them set up camp not far from here. Poachers is all they are. I'd like them removed from this place.
Why do you care if they're here?
They don't respect this place. They're butchering wildlife and threatening entire species. It's getting under my skin. The
Fair
Wookiees could
enough.
take care of themselves if they wished, but the animals are truly helpless victims.
Finally, they give me a hilarious option that doesn't scream dark side. Usually the funniest retorts are obviously like brutally mean or just like viciously obviously dark side. This one is like goody two shoes. Yes, master, I'm a good kid, master, whatever, blah blah blah. Oh, the second one is so good. I see. So the aged semi-Jedi wants me to get some kids off his lawn.
Yes, I'm an old man that's getting fussy. Call me foolish if you will, I don't care, you still have to do it. Their camp is in the far northeast. Now remember, if I wanted them dead, I'd have done it myself. Find a better way.
Okay. Where are they? How many men?
They are not that far northeast of here. There's usually 5 in the area, as far as I can see. The captain of the lot is the one that earned my ire. Mishandle my garden, Willie.
This last part makes me think that he didn't take the least bit of offense to the aged semi-Jedi comment. Like, it kind of feels like he's leaning into it a little bit. I like that. Why would you want to join up with me?
You presumably have a ship. I've seen all I wish to here. Isn't that enough? I mean, I'm really sick of the trees. And perhaps your destiny might show me something new. You never know.
Well, we just came from a planet that's entirely sand, and at least one of our other destinations is entirely water, so new is probably a fair bet. You have to ask, though, why not just go get rid of them yourself?
Don't talk back to your elders, child.
Oh,
Look, they know
now
me
you
quite
want respect.
well, and are always on alert when I approach. The only way I can get rid of them would be violence, which would eventually lead to trouble for the Wookiees. I want them gone, but with as little fuss as possible. They've already caused enough trouble as it is.
I'll look into it.
Good. Return to me here and we'll see how you have done. Shoo! Shoo!
I'm definitely getting grouchy Uncle Don vibes. That was the customer, by the way. Uncle Don. I like this guy. He's just leaning into what he can get away with by pulling the grouchy old man card. I can respect that. You know, when you get to a certain age, I feel like you ought to be able to play the I'm old, I can do what I want card. He must have said northeast, right? Because northwest is just the elevator. I was thinking he said northwest, but... So many little monkey things.
Huh?
Connect device. Commander.
Who are you, another civil merchant like that kotor slime up on the docking ring? This is my territory. I don't make deals, and I don't persuade easily, so go back topside. Mess with my profits, and I'll see you dead.
Somehow, I feel like Chandar giving me permission might not get me very far. Because I have a feeling that they don't think as highly of him as he thinks of himself. They probably just see him as useful, if we're being totally honest. So I'm basically supposed to talk them into leaving. Best case scenario with this first option, they don't know Jolie's name. They just know him as the crazy old man. So they wouldn't know what I'm talking about. Worst case scenario, they do know his name, and it doesn't get me very far. Like, that feels like a clarification. Question? What the fuck was that? What is a clarific question? I just invented a new word. Apparently it's easier to say than clarification question I'm supposed to ask. It feels like a clarific question that I'm supposed to ask. I'm just owning it now. Yeah. I think I'm overthinking it. I think clarifying that they are who I was sent to find isn't going to thrust me instantly into battle. Otherwise, I feel like there would be another option to talk about, like them being poachers or something down here. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. Are you the poachers Jolie told me about?
Crazy old fool is still alive. I suppose he's still upset that we don't all live in little homemade shacks like he chooses. I've got a job to do here, and there's nothing you or that old coot can do about it.
I'm gonna ask you a few questions.
If you made it this far, you know a fair bit already. What would I be able to tell you?
I'm certainly not gonna ask him about the star map. Are you part of the slaving operation?
What? No, I don't do much of that. It's too much of a headache. I'm in the business of harvesting animals. Some of the more exotic species have organs that can be removed and put to some surprising applications. Talk to me about work, and maybe I'll tell you more. If you made it this far...
Is there anything odd down here?
Besides you? Besides any number
Fair.
of predators that can kill in seconds? I suppose there's old Bindo. He's got a camp here somewhere. I'd leave him alone, though. Anyone who'd lived down here is just plain crazy. There's not much else. We've got a repulsor field to the east, so not much passes through here now.
You aren't safe with blasters?
It's not worth it. You're fighting the plants as well as the animals. Kashyyyk vines are tough as metal and grow back fast. Instead, head office installed repulsor fields to keep the big predators out. Permanent placements, too. We'll be fine for years. If you make...
If the Shadowlands are so dangerous, how do you survive?
It ain't easy. We've set up a perimeter of sonic emitters to keep the bigger preds away. It's worked so far. As long as the emitters are operational, we're pretty much safe. It makes harvesting a lot easier.
I wonder if it counts as killing them if I disable their sonic emitters. I mean, technically they have the choice to run away, right?
Hurry up, you're eating into my profits.
You weren't doing anything. You were literally just standing there. I want you to leave the Shadowlands.
Is that old hermit Jolee trying to talk you into doing his dirty work? We've spent too much on setting up just to walk away. As long as the sonic emitters keep the preds away and I've got bodies to guard the perimeter, we're staying right here. I mean, if I can put up with my own worthless guards complaining about this place, Jolee whining through you is nothing.
I suppose by not easily persuadable, you meant you won't get a persuasion option here. Just a Zerka slave and nothing special.
I don't need this kind of garbage from you. Watch your mouth. I'm the only law there is down here. If you've got something to say, get on with it. Otherwise, leave me alone. I've credits to earn.
I wonder what kind of work he would give me.
I could use an extra hand. A couple men have gone missing. If I lose many more, I'll have to close up shop. We are hunting the little simians, the tank. They have a gland that acts as a stimulant when powdered. I figure I've got 2 or 3 wealthy years to butcher the lot of them. You want in before I make them extinct?
And they're so cute, too. I mean, the little bit I've been able to see of them through the vlog. Don't you care you could wipe out the whole species?
No. I'll be rich by then, and we won't need to do it anymore. I don't have to worry about it. Besides, if there's no more tack, the predators that eat them will die off, and we'll have an easier time milking this planet.
Wow.
Hurry up and waste.
Maybe you should just pay me so I don't shut you down.
All right, I'm done talking with you. You've got under my skin one too many times.
Damn. Hang on. Nope, we can't have that. I wasn't expecting him to go from trying to hire me to being violent quite so quickly.
Who are you? Another civil mer... I don't... If you... What? Some of them talk to you.
I don't know if it matters how many of these I went through.
He's not.
So I'm just gonna click through them
It's not
again real quick just to be on the safe side.
If... Besides, he's got it. He's not.
Oh wait, I did
No,
that.
instead. If you... As long... If you... Hurry! Yeah, is that all? As long... I mean... I don't need this kind of garbage from... If you go... I could... We are hunting... I figure... Besides... Good.
Okay, let's see. Obviously, it's doubtful Jolee would approve. Interesting. It might be possible to persuade or bribe the guards into helping shut down the protective field the emitters produce. Another option might be to try and convince guards to leave, although that would likely require force manipulation. One way or another, seems like we've got a couple of options.
You want anything, you'll have to talk to the commander. He's in charge of our harvesting here.
I'd rather ask about you. Why are you here?
Why am I here? I'm here because this is where the commander told me to stand. And that's all there is to it. I'm just a guard for this emitter. Why couldn't they have just equipped this lump of tech with a blaster and left me at home? I'm not here because I know stuff. I handle a blaster well enough to guard this emitter and that's it. Talk to the commander.
What do these emitters do like I don't already know?
They generate a sonic barrier that allows us to stay in this wonderful location. It keeps the big predators away. I don't know how it works, really. I just know that if they go down, the camp would be overrun.
So only the emitters are keeping you here.
What of it?
Really glad I invested in persuasion. Not like I wouldn't, but yikes, the bribe option costs 200 credits, and I don't even know if it works. Depending on how many guards there are, I think there are at least 4 of these things. That's a lot of credits. So if someone shut them down, you could leave.
I don't like being here, that's for sure. I suppose you could take this code and shut down the emitter I'm guarding. Enough of those emitters go down, and the camp will have to move out. But I never said anything.
And you're welcome. This node will remain offline until maintenance restores full operation. And it's gonna kick me out. Okay.
Huh? Gotcha. Simple.
Ooh. Connie light armor. That's what she's currently wearing, but it looks like this one's a different color. Also, it's like the other one, it's upgradable.
Gotcha. Darn it.
Seriously?
Gotcha. Darn it.
Her skill is too low. She has 11 security. The fuck?
Gotcha. Darn it. What?
That's fucking weird. Ah, 3 tag glands. Dropped a rifle, concussion grenade, and light repeating blaster.
You want anything, you'll have to talk to the command. Why am I here? I'm just a guard for this. What do you want to know about that? It's just one of 5 or so sonic emitters protecting the camp.
So if someone shut them down, you could leave.
I don't like being here, that's for sure. Enough of those emitters go down, and the camp will have to move out.
Mission's deadbeat brother needed tech. Is that what it was? He needed something. In the journal, hold on. His thing is listed as on Manon, but you might be right. Oh. Which one was I thinking of? Oh, I was thinking of this one, the Hardan. The mystery datapad. You're right. And I can do it without killing any techs. That explains why they were in that box, and now I'm really glad I broke it. Thank you for the reminder.
Run! Run!
Nice of the creature to leave me alone, I suppose. I was gonna say I could keep exploring that direction, but given what he said about things blocking the way and the fact that he alluded to knowing stuff that could be very useful, seems better come turn in this quest to him and get useful information rather than just wandering around hoping I stumble across something handy.
Welcome back. I wonder, have you had much luck? Have you done as I asked?
Me going dark side from the attack noises. Yeah, and they don't get like quieter when dialogue is going on, which is what's driving me crazy. Made certain the poachers are gone.
Yes, I could feel it as you walked near. And I don't sense the smell of death on you. You spared them. Interesting.
Enough. Have I passed your little test?
If you imagined a meaning behind it, I suppose that's good. But I don't think such a trivial thing is any real measure of a person.
If you didn't care about the outcome, why have me do this?
You were here and it needed doing. Besides,
fair enough.
dealing with the Circa is dirty business. I hope you washed your hands.
You mentioned eliminating barriers. Did we get to it?
I know where you want to go. I can get you through to the old paths. This forest hides some strange things. There's also a Circa repulsor field blocking the way, past the poacher camp in the east. I saw it when it was installed, so I know how to pass it. And on the other side, ancient answers. And perhaps a Wookiee you were seeking. I hope he's in the mood for visitors.
Aha, I was right. He is the new one. All right. Mission is my skill monkey. What can I say? She continues to make herself incredibly useful.
Got something on your mind, do? Oh, I know plenty about Kashyyyk. You think someone doesn't live here for 20 years and pick up a thing or two? Chances are, by the time I finish telling you about it all, you would have found out for yourself. So there's no reason for me to start blathering on. It should be enough for me to tell you that there's kilometer after kilometer of trees on this planet. The deeper you go, the more dangerous it gets. If you're smart, you stay on top with the Wookiees. You go deep, however, and you may find some things you weren't expecting. And that's about all I got to say about that. Now, let's get going.
Right, super helpful. Thanks. I didn't need you to tell me everything about Kashyyyk. I was kind of hoping you would tell me which direction to go.
Oh, I get it. Let's play with the old man's head, is it? He's half senile. He'll forget I said anything. Wait, what was this about anyway?
What?
From a distance, it kind of looks like a very skinny Krogan from Mass Effect.
I'm here.
Oh.
Life forms detected. Determining parameters. Initiating neural recognition.
Yes, there's the thing. Obstinate machine. I've no doubt it holds what you seek, but good luck getting it operational.
Primary neural recognition complete. Preliminary match found.
Match found? What the... It always muttered something about rejected patterns for me.
Begin socialized interface. Awaiting instruction. Greetings. This terminal has not been accessed for quite some time.
Who placed this terminal here?
Error. Subject displays unfamiliarity to environment. Behavioral reconfiguration will be needed before access. I am sorry. I did not mean to confuse you. I will answer questions to the best of my programming limitations.
What do you mean by behavioral reconfiguration?
I have been programmed with a very limited field of knowledge, and I must restrict access to only those that fit my allowed pattern.
And I don't fit that pattern?
I can't say. I will try to bring forward the behavior that you need to proceed, as outlined by my programming.
It seems very helpful. Why have I been allowed access?
I can't say. Preliminary matching allows for you to be coached.
Do you not know why, or are you restricted from saying?
I can't say. Likelihood of restriction by previous user, 100%.
Ah. I can't say, but here's your answer. Gotcha. What limitations have been placed in your programming?
Corruption has resulted in gaps appearing in my memory, and in that of the original installation. It could be theorized that these gaps are intentional, but I have no information on that.
What gaps are missing? If it weren't a computer, that would be a ridiculous question.
Error. I cannot present a non-presence. Perhaps you can ask other questions, and data corruption will become evident.
Fair enough. I want to ask questions about you in this installation.
I utilize a retro-adapted holocron interface. Clarify your questions, and I will attempt to access original system memory.
Who built this installation in the first place?
Error. Corruption. Extrapolating. This utility was built to monitor planet-wide agricultural reformation. It has since malfunctioned. It can be theorized that the supergrowth of Kashyyyk forests is a direct result.
Well, that is surprising. I doubt any Wookiee would support such a claim. The forest is millennia old.
Malfunction occurred 241 years after last builder communication. Last builder communication, 29,642 years before current Republic standard.
Millennia indeed. Why was agricultural reformation needed?
Agricultural record indicates this planet was incapable of sustaining sufficient levels of production. Error. Specific conditions corrupted. It can be theorized that produce was being exported to support a larger demand.
This place was built 30,000 years ago. It predates the Republic.
Error. Information regarding the builders of this installation has been corrupted. No evidence of such a civilization exists in the galactic record.
That is a short period for adaptation of native creatures.
Error. Records corrupted. It can be theorized that bioseeding allowed the ecology to remain balanced. It could be expected that the same energy feeding the trees of Kashyyyk also accelerated the evolution of various species. No further information is available. There is too much corrupted data. Accessing. I will answer as my programming permits.
Who installed this hollow interface?
This interface was installed to better access the ancient data stored within the pre-existing system. The exact date is unavailable. Programming keys indicate no earlier than 5 years before current Republic standard.
5 years ago. I didn't notice it. This must have been installed in strictest secrecy. Couldn't have been circa.
No other information on time of installation or identity of user available. Likelihood of removal by user, 100%.
So Revan and Malik, probably. Yep. 5 years ago was about the time Revan passed this way.
Error. Data regarding subject Revan corrupted.
But there was an entry at some time?
Error. Data on Revan unavailable.
Uh-huh. Who last accessed this installation?
Sorting by identity. 3 attempts by the Wookiee Freyr, all denied. 152 attempts by human Jolee Bindo, all denied.
Call me stubborn, I guess. There wasn't much else to do around here.
Error. List of
No
access
wonder he was so
attempts
salty.
prior to these is corrupted. Likelihood of removal by user, 100%.
Was there any further contact with the installer of this interface?
That information is unavailable, but contact is not required for the execution of my programming. Scanning range of this facility is well beyond planetary boundaries.
I mean, if I was some old person who had tried something 152 times, I'd be a little salty too if some random young person just walked up and accidentally got it on the first try. I'd be a little salty about that. Seems fair.
Accessing. I will...
What's the original function of this installation?
Error. Corruption. Extrapolating. This utility was built to monitor planet-wide agricultural reformation. It has since malfunctioned. It can be theorized that the supergrowth
Well, that is surprising.
malfunction occurred 241 years after last builder communication. Last builder communication, 29,000. Access.
What's the current function of this installation?
The current purpose of this installation is defense.
Don't piss it off. Got it. Defense of what?
Error. That information is not available. Accessing. Answer will be given.
Seek information about a star map.
Accessing. Yes, I have found a star map in original system memory. Access is restricted.
Original system memory. The map is as old as this installation.
Error. Data regarding author of the star map is corrupted.
What do I need to get access to the star map?
Your request requires additional security access. You must be made to match the parameters I have been supplied.
How can I match them when I don't know what they are?
There are measures available. Personality profiling will verify the basic structure of your conscious mind. With that, I will determine whether you are ready to receive the star map or can be made ready.
Personality profiling. So assuming Revan and Malik came through and basically corrupted or erased all these bits of data to where, like, we know it was them. We would have known it was them even if information on Revan wasn't corrupted and inaccessible. That kind of gave it away since we already knew what to mention. But if they came through and did all of that, I assume hang on, did it say that the did it say whether this pattern thing it's looking to match, did it say whether that was set by the original builders or by, because if it was set by Revan and Malik, chances are for a personality profile all Jedi answers are going to be incorrect probably. What do you mean by that?
Information unavailable. If you have further questions, ask them now. Access will terminate with success or failure of evaluation.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask this one again.
I have been programmed with a very limited field of knowledge, and I must restrict access to only those that fit my allowed pattern. I can't say. I will try to bring forward the behavior that you need to proceed, as outlined by my programming. I can't say. Preliminary matching. I can't say. Like,
Yeah, restriction by previous user, so whatever pattern it is was probably set by
accessing.
Malik.
Yes, I have found a star map. Your request requires additional security access. You must be made to match the parameters I have been supplied. There are measures available. Personality profiling will verify the basic structure of your conscious mind. With that, I will determine whether you are ready to receive the star map or can be made ready.
And what if I fail?
Then you are not worthy of further access. You will be rejected as unsuitable.
What will rejection mean?
Information unavailable. If you have further questions, ask them now. Access will terminate with success or failure of evaluation.
You know how Farrah mentioned a Jedi that had come to fight the Great Beast and never returned? I kind of wonder if he was actually here to fight the Great Beast, or if that was sort of a unplanned run-in while he was looking for this. It looks like I can't back out of this without beginning the evaluation, which sucks because if I fail and I have to reload a save or something, I'm going to feel the need to go through all those questions again just to check off all the boxes of the stuff that I asked. It's a BioWare game. You never know what might matter. But, oh well. Alright, let's give this a shot.
Evaluation commencing. Result will be compared against the pattern in memory. Just act like you should. You travel with a Wookiee and have encountered complications. Hypothetical. You and this Zalbar are captured and separated. If you both remain silent, 1 year in prison for each of you. However, call Zalbar a traitor, and he will serve 5 years, while you serve none. He is offered the same deal. But if you both accuse the other, you both serve 2 years. What do you do? What do you trust him to do?
What do you know about him? He isn't here.
I hear what happens on Kashyyyk, and a good deal beyond. Answer the question I have posed.
Can I confer with someone else?
This test is not for your companions. You will answer and demonstrate that you match the pattern in memory.
How did you know Zalbar's name?
I hear what happens on Kashyyyk.
Okay, fine. I know what I would pick. I trust him. I wouldn't say anything, and neither would he. But
You travel with a Wookiee and have encountered complications. If you both remain silent, 1 year in prison for each of you. However, call Zalbar a traitor, and he will serve 5 years, while you serve none. He is offered the same deal. But if you both accuse the other, you both serve 2 years. What do you do? What do you trust him to do?
now the question is, do I answer truthfully? Or do I try and guess how Revan and Malik would have answered? Presumably Revan, since he was sort of in charge at the time. That being said, it quote-unquote scanned me for preliminary patterns before I ever even said anything, if I'm remembering this correctly. Which means that my match might... Well, it certainly wasn't scanning me for light side versus dark side, because I forgot to look at where Jolee was on the scale, but I'm more light-sided than both of my other Jedi companions, so pretty sure that wouldn't match up. And since it's like preliminary match thing, I'm trying to figure out if there's an argument to answer honestly based on the fact that there was a preliminary match before I said anything. So it's not that, like, and even if you account for, like, it seeing and hearing what goes on Kashyyyk and beyond, etc., etc., it's not like I've been acting like Revan, so anything it could have heard about me doesn't really make sense as a similarity to Revan. So then it all comes back to the question of is it checking me for truthfulness of myself, or is it checking me for Revan, basically? Or Malik, but I assume Revan. It's an AI. Its data in question are purely based on a specific logic predetermined. Huh. Computer combined with the music on my first playthrough disturbed me. Yeah. I wish there were separate music settings for, like, ambient music and battle music, because battle music is so loud that I've turned it way down. Now I can only barely hear the ambient music, but I can definitely see why it would be unsettling, to say the least. It said I could be coached. And now I'm wondering if maybe there's a hint in the question. I'm wondering if the "what do you trust him to do" is a hint. Because usually this is kind of a classic hypothetical question, right? Like, definitely not the first time I've heard this scenario come up as a hypothetical. Just in general. But usually it stops at "what would you do?" The "what do you trust him to do" is an interesting twist on it. Putting my computer brain on, or I'm trying to anyway. The "what do you trust him to do" might be a hint, or it might not. My answer would be that I trust him and I would say nothing. I was gonna say I assume that Revan would probably take a self-serving route. But I also, from the bits and pieces I've heard, it wouldn't surprise me if Revan was the type to assume that he knows what his companions would say. So the I'm sure what Zalbar would say makes me think that might not actually be correct, because warning, what I'm about to say is not depreciative. Go to unplug your autistic side of your brain. I'm working on it. I certainly have the overthinking skills, that's for sure. I'm going to experiment with a comment. Basically, you could say I'm experimenting with my honest answer route. You could also say I'm experimenting with the theory that the computer is indeed attempting to coach me through the question. I guess we'll find out which one it actually is on the next question, but I'm going to go with the real answer. I trust Zalbar. He would say nothing. I would say nothing, and neither would he.
Are you sure? If you turn, you risk 2 years, or none at all. If you reply on loyalty, you risk 1 year, or 5. Your loyalty is dangerous. Your companion could take the opportunity to benefit by turning on you. Zalbar's family is mired in treachery. What loyalty do they know?
Oof.
Your answer is incorrect.
The dialogue options here make me think that that statement is a test. Like, I get the feeling that a certain level of conviction is required. I'm gonna go with the middle option first, though, because it seems like it might be more of a clarification question. I might get a couple more hints out of whatever it says in response, and I think it's gonna bring me back to these two if I had to guess. I thought this was an evaluation, not a quiz.
I must match your behavior to the pattern in memory. You must answer truthfully, knowing the consequences. I must demand honest acceptance of the proper behavior. That is a condition of my programming.
No, I reject you. I'll just take you apart to get to this terminal. What pattern are you comparing me against?
That information is not available to you. It is the pattern that I have been given as a baseline for security access.
Continue on then.
The previous incorrect response will be discounted. Future incorrect responses will result in rejection. Hypothetical. You are at war. Deciphering an
Maybe it wasn't
intercepted
a
code,
test then?
you learn 2 things about your enemy. A single spot in their defense will be at its weakest in 10 days, and they will attack one of your cities in 5 days. What do you do with this information? What is the most efficient course of action?
Hold on, one more time.
Hypothetical. You are at war. Deciphering an intercepted code, you learn 2 things about your enemy. A single spot in their defense will be at its weakest in 10 days, and they will attack one of your cities in 5 days. What do you do with this information? What is the most efficient course of action?
I don't think Revan would care about a particular city. I mean, Malik blew up a whole fucking planet to get rid of one Jedi. That being said, Revan and Malik are supposed to be like, phenomenal military leaders, right? And it would be a really dumb military leader who would just ignore the loss of an entire city's worth of resources and people and like basically support, even if it's just in terms of like a place to buy food and people to potentially enlist, it's still a resource, right? And I feel like it would be a really dumb military leader, even a Sith who doesn't give a shit about the city, to completely try to get rid of it. They wouldn't care about evacuating, I'm sure of that much. But I feel like it would be strategically stupid to do nothing to the city. And from everything I've heard, they're not strategically stupid, so subtly reinforce the city while preparing to attack.
This is no decision.
Oh,
I
come
ask
on.
again. Do you save your people or abandon them for the sake of the war? Attempting both will merely dilute your efforts. Would you trade one victory for 2 failures?
Interesting. I feel like I did get a hint. So when it told me my answer to the last one was incorrect, the first time it told me, it was talking about like, it basically sounded like a gamble, right? The whole you risk um 2 years on trust, or you could go 5 years or none. Sounds like a gamble, right? I'm wondering if Revan was a gambler. Either way, my honest answer was wrong last time, so I'm going to do the opposite this time. Plus, this seems like a very Sith answer. Prepare my forces to attack in 10 days. I do nothing in the city.
Very good. If you had moved to evacuate the city, you would have alerted the enemy to their lost codes.
I can't believe you just let all those people die.
Ultimate victory required the deaths
I'm
of
being
the
coached
people in
here,
that
Mission.
city. You wisely ignored sentiment in your decision.
Out of curiosity, does anybody know if companions, like, when they do that, do you actually, like, lose relationship points with them? Or, like, how much they like you points? Is it just commentary? Or does it actually, like, affect your relationship with them? I'm gonna be a little bit salty if it actually affects your relationship with them, because none of them seem to ever be able to tell when I'm bluffing, which is annoying. But it's not nearly as annoying if it doesn't actually affect their opinion of me. Uh-oh, I feel like this is still part of the test. I would say it doesn't affect anything mechanically. Okay, cool. Then I'm far less annoyed and more just amused in a facepalm sort of way, I suppose, by the fact that none of them seem to be able to tell when I bluff, ever. don't think victory is ever irrelevant to Revan and Malik. That's right. The deaths of those people would spur my forces on.
Very good reasoning. I will apply it to the rest of the evaluation. You begin to match the pattern in memory. Hypothetical. Remove the ongoing war from the previous example. Consider enemy states to be weak and remote. With no external threat, your empire stagnates. Your people become complacent and begin to question you. Same scenario as before. You discover an impending attack, but also a weakness that will come after. How do you react?
Hold on, there was a lot of disregard and re-regard that scenario thing going on.
Hypothetical. Remove the ongoing war from the previous example.
Just the ongoing part.
Consider enemy states to be weak and remote. With no external threat, your empire stagnates. Your people become complacent and begin to question you. Same scenario as before. You discover an impending attack, but also a weakness that will come after. How do you react?
Whether doing nothing to attack the weak spot later would save more lives is up for debate, I would say, because he describes them as weak and remote. Which makes it sound like you don't necessarily need a specific weak spot in order to defeat them in general. But from a power-hungry Sith's point of view, yeah, I think this flip-flops it. I stop the attack. I will appear to be a hero.
But if nothing happens, your people will have no need of heroes.
Oh,
no,
shit.
They do not see a threat. You have coddled them. Your empire will be brought down by introspection.
Shit.
You have failed to match the pattern in memory. Access denied. This system will purge the subject as false. Defense mode initiated.
I don't suppose you have the droid thingy that Bastila has, do you? Does. I meant to check before and I forgot whether the Mandalorian blaster is better or worse than the heavy pistol. So 13 and 17. Oh, no, heavy pistol, definitely better. I wonder if ion grenades work against droid shields as effectively.
Yeah?
Whoa, what? I gained both dark side points and light side points. I thought I was just answering a quiz. Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about this particular failure. I'm a little annoyed that I failed the quiz, because I have weird compulsions with quizzes and acing them, mostly. But, so I'm annoyed that I failed the quiz, just on pure principle of having failed it. But also I'm kind of annoyed because if I was gonna fail, I wish I would have failed by answering honestly, rather than by failing to answer correctly, if that makes sense. It doubly annoys me. But also, now that I've seen the questions, it feels cheaty to go back and redo it, so I don't know. I'm gonna see how impossible these droids are to kill. If they take me out as fast as some of the other defense droids have in the past, 99% of players fail it? Okay, gotcha. So this is not like the defense droids in, say, the gang hideout, for example, guarding the elevators, where it's like you basically have to get into the computer because they insta-kill you, essentially. Good to know. Oh, okay. Well, the shield came down easier than I expected it to, honestly. Mission got stunned or something. Okay, yeah, they're not.
Yes?
I'm here.
Neural scan complete. Analyzing. Well, it would appear initial assumptions about you were incorrect. Secondary scans during battle have revealed much. Under duress, your emotions were easier to read. Programming now instructs that I give you what you seek.
And thank you, son. It makes the perfectionist in me feel better to know that 99% of people or players fail it. Only a little bit, but still better. I was debating between 1 and 3, but it sort of told me why the change. It scanned something else, I guess. So I guess I am more curious about what it scanned that overrode a failed test, I suppose. What did you scan during the battle reveal?
That information is not
Of course it's
available.
not. What was I
Soon you
thinking?
will recognize the proper course to follow. The star map is yours. This unit has now completed its primary duty and has finished with the subject. Executing final action. Activation of star map commencing. Parameters reset. Stasis initiated. And communication.
Did you pass it, Ulrich? How many questions were there? Because I don't know whether the reasoning behind the second question was a pass-fail, or whether it was just a reinforcement, because it did say it would take it into account for overall evaluation or whatever, but technically it wasn't a question. So if we only count, like, specifically posed questions, I got to 3.
Well, well, a star map. An ancient artifact of dark side power. Can't say I'm surprised. I always knew there was something funny down here. I wonder if the star map has had an effect on the evolution of the creatures here in the Shadowlands. Might explain why it's so dangerous down here. An interesting theory, but I suppose we don't have time to test it now, do we? Now that we've got what you came for, we should be heading back up to the treetops.
No, we still have a favor to do for a friend.